I see it. People are like, oh, the Bears won the offseason again. I don't want to do that. I just want to say I think we have a lot better of a football team today than we did 2 weeks ago. So, as you guys know, I'm deep into March Madness. Give me the press conference. Give me the whole rundown. I have not been online today, basically.
I would say that if you would listen to the press conference today, you would have gone from a 6, even you, to an 8.5.
No. What did they do? They said we're going to win the right way?
A lot of beef up there on the stage today.
They were showing us their beef.
Yeah, a lot of beef.
Showing off their beef.
So was it all the guys we just signed or traded for?
You had Jonah Jackson, you had Joe Tooney, and you had Grady Jarrett. A lot of beef up there.
Grady Jarrett stole the show, too.
Yeah.
Wait till you hear Grady Jarrett. We finally got a dog. Hopefully he could still play.
Yeah. I mean, he is a little older, but listen, that's what I've been saying to everyone. Like, hey, where's your excitement? I think Ryan Poles did a very good job at taking care of a lot of the weaknesses that this team had, especially in the trenches. But I remind everyone when you get excited, because I know our friend Nick sent us the text of we won the offseason again. I don't want to do that. I'm done with winning off seasons. If you are a team that has to fix all your problems in free agency, you're a bad team. So you got to go out and win games and be a good team. You didn't hear a lot of moves from the Ravens or the Chiefs or the Eagles or, a lot of these teams that are already very good. So I'm happy everything happened. I feel like these are good moves, but when you're doing these moves in free agency, it means that you had problems.
That's fine, but I will disagree in one area. I want to win the offseason. I want to win the postseason, but I don't want to go through the offseason and go, wow, we suck this offseason.
That shouldn't be your high point.
Right. Totally.
Well, yeah.
I'm not setting the bar
but I'm
there.
Not taking victory laps. There's no victory laps.
No, but you should
I think it's great, everything that happened. Yeah.
Yes, you should be willing to feel okay and to experience joy and not just sit in your room with the shades drawn and the doors closed.
Can I make it? Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Can I make an analogy? Like, you guys do great interviews, do great conversations. Have you ever had, for pardon my take, a great guest? You're like, you couldn't be more excited for the great guest, but then the great guest didn't live up to your expectations, or maybe you guys did. I mean, pardon my words here. Maybe you guys did a bad interview. Like, has that ever happened?
Yeah, all the time. There's been interviews we haven't run.
So this is like that. I feel like we have booked a great guest. We're excited about booking the great guest, but we still have to execute the interview, and it still has to live up to being airable on Pardon My Take.
That was a really good analogy that's not appropriate for literally anyone listening, but it is for me, so I appreciate that.
That's who I'm talking to.
Very personal analogy. No, I'm excited. Here's what I'm really excited about, okay? The Bears have 3 picks in whatever, the top, 50 picks? Or
they got 10, 39, and 41, right? Isn't that what?
All right, so 3 in the top 41. Ryan Poles attacking the interior of the offensive line and also beefing up the defensive line allows the Bears to now take best player available. And they don't have to stretch and try to reach for a guy because they're like, oh, we got to fill this hole. And you know what I would still love? I'd still love if the Bears went and took an offensive lineman with one of those first 3 picks, because we've talked about this before. The good teams, just because they have, a starter in place, that doesn't mean they don't add depth and who's going to be the next guy. Like, these guys are really good guys. I also like the fact that they're on contracts, that everything's lined up so that if Caleb becomes what we think Caleb's going to be, you don't have these crazy contracts that you're having to pay, 3-4 years down the line. So I'm pumped about all of it. I'm just saying, I see it. People are like, oh, the Bears won the offseason again. I don't want to do that. I just want to say I think we have a lot better of a football team today than we did 2 weeks ago.
Did you? I forget it went last Wednesday when we talked to you. Did we ask you about Genty and where your thoughts would be? Well, like you were just saying, it opens up the board that if Ben Johnson said he's going to be our most impactful player, so Ryan take him, and they took Genty at 10, did you give us your opinion on what you would say?
I said my opinion was the situation remains fluid, where if they pick Genty, I'm going to be like, man, that's the guy I wanted all along. And, I don't want to pick running back at 10, but I will sell myself on that. I have a question for you guys. how much of this is Ben Johnson's fingerprint on this team? Where last season we went into the offseason going with an offensive line that was clearly not up for it, trying to sign guys and trade for guys that were not even close to what a rookie quarterback needed. Now you have Ben Johnson in the building, and it feels like they really attacked this offensive line in a way they haven't in a very long time.
And it's the reason why I'm not going to deny myself the joy of feeling good about what they've done this offseason, and what they've done in the past is in the past. They've obviously got to get to the point of the season where they are winning games. But from my perspective, they've done everything that I'd hoped they'd do. They brought in the most desirable coach, the most sought-after coach that was out there. They've addressed, as you said, Big Cat, their issues on the offensive line, and now they're a better defensive line. They've still got, 7 draft picks? They still probably can maneuver some contracts and spend some money if they still need to fill some holes. You know what? I'm not throwing a party tonight, but I'm not going to hide in my house and worry that – once again, they've won the offseason, but they're going to suck when the regular season gets here.
Neither am I.
Yeah,
I think
let's have a party.
I'm attacking it more from a perspective of my expectations are. I'm raising my own expectations, and I'm like, you know what? Good job, Ryan Poles. You met my expectations. I expected you to go attack this offensive line, and you did it. I'm not going to say problem solved. We're good now, because I know what free agency is. Free agency in the NFL, you're signing guys who, if they were top of the line guys in their 20s, they wouldn't be free agents.
Right.
They would be on the team that they're on that got drafted like that. So I'm coming from that perspective that Drew Dahlman is going to be the probably the best center we've had in a long time. But he's not a perfect player, so there's still things that need to happen, and they got to nail this draft, especially knowing the draft is so important. If Caleb becomes what we want him to become, that you need young roster spots that are on cheaper deals when his deal comes up.
To your point about the coach, I don't think there's any doubt that the Ben Johnson fingerprints are on all over a lot of this stuff, and I think Dennis Allen probably was asked to be in the room when they made the decision to bring in the kid from Indianapolis and sign him as a free agent. So, yes, I think that not only is Ben Johnson going to be asked to put together great game plans on a Sunday in and Sunday out basis, I think you are seeing the early returns on his inputs into some of the personnel decisions. I don't think you make the trade for Jonah Jackson if Ben Johnson's not here.
Agreed. And I'm happy because it does feel this way, that they are letting Ben Johnson, Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson are working together, and Ben Johnson saying, this is what I need to run my football team. This is, if you want to see the Ben Johnson deep bag of plays, we need this, this, and this. And it feels like they got a lot of it. And do you guys agree with me that, I've been looking at the draft. Tyler Warren would be interesting because we do need another tight end. We need another receiver. But, you guys would be just as happy if we went line again, right? Defensive or offensive line.
That's what I want
with
to do.
The 10th pick.
That's what,
right.
But I'm with you.
Nothing we have is perfect right now. It's good. It's better than it was. But you still got to start nailing some of these draft picks so that, hey, you could maybe get a offensive lineman in this draft that will be with Darnell Wright for the next 7 to 10 years.
I'm with you, and I like your fluid. That lesson you gave us last year on the situation is fluid, because I'm not going to be like a Philly fan or a Jets fan, and if they draft Genty or Warren at 10, that's not what I want to have happen, but it won't boo the pick at the Bears draft party if that happens, because it could turn out to be great. Right. Tyler Warren's an incredible football player. I know you guys don't watch college ball. I do. He's insane. And he's
700 yards after the catch. What are you talking about? We don't watch college football. He had over 700 yards run after the catch. He got the majority of his output was in this year, significantly more than last year. 6'6", 256 pound, more like Gronk than Brock Bowers. And in my opinion, too much like Cole Kmet for me to draft him at 10.
Oh, he's not like Cole Kmet.
He's
a
different
player than that.
Same style
he's
of
a different player than
he's
that.
He's not Brock Bowers.
No,
that's the type of guy that I would draft at 10.
Yeah, you can line Tyler Warren up anywhere. He was. He caught passes. He threw passes. He was in the backfield.
I don't need my tight end to throw passes, Big Cat.
Did he say throw passes?
Yeah,
I don't need him to throw passes.
You know who does? You know who
Walter
does?
Payton.
Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson.
That's right,
Ben
yeah.
Johnson's playbook does. Everyone's got to be
true.
able to throw past Ben Johnson's offense. I'm very excited. I think that the signings and the trades were great, and it feels like the Bears are in the right direction. I've just been burned so many times that I don't want to. I'm not going to just come on here and poke my chest out and be like, Bears are back. We're gonna win the North. Like let's see it. Let's see it. But I'm pumped.
Yeah. I want to talk to you about some other free agent moves, but let's get to you, your favorite subject. And talk about the win streak that you had. I think you've lost a few in a row, but
I have.
But what big deal? You won 16 bets in a row?
I won 16 bets in a row. There was a time in the last week where if you look at it in like the last 7 or 8 days, I was making QB1 money, prorated.
Nice.
So it was pretty incredible. I've been gambling since I was like 15 years old. I'll never, ever do what I did last week with 16 in a row. Never, ever, ever. Like I just knew in the moment that like it's never going to happen again. Enjoy the ride. Am I crashing out a little bit right now? Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Happens.
Water always finds its level. But yeah, it was fun too because everyone was riding. It felt like every night was a playoff game. It was something dreams are made of.
Who's the biggest name that congratulated you on your streak? Because I know you always wanted the congratulations.
Tom Waddle.
Yes. Again.
Tom Waddle.
I saw Tim Doyle name in the Rolodex.
I saw that Tim Doyle actually on the broadcast of a game congratulated you.
Yes, and I've known Tim for a long time. I actually used to get reps when the game was still a radio station in town. On Saturdays and Sundays, I'd go in and sit with Tim. So that was nice of him. But, yeah, it was – and the Saturday game or the Missouri-Kentucky game, they scored 25 points in the last 2 minutes. I was at the Climb Zone for my son's friend's birthday party.
Those are awesome.
I had the iPad. We get to the Climb Zone. I pull out the iPad. My son goes – he's like, oh, can I watch a show? And I was like, no. This is for hoops, okay? This is you go climb. I'm going to watch hoops. I had all the dads huddled around me, rooting me on. It was incredible. So it was like, those type of moments. I just know I'll never get it back.
In the process, did your unit size remain the same, or did it swell as you started to get cocky and win?
They went up. Monday night when I finally lost was a disaster. A disaster.
You were feeling chesty.
I had a moment where I got into bed on Monday night, and I kind of muttered under my own breath. I was like, I got nothing to live for anymore. And my wife popped up, and she's like, what did you just say? And I was like, nah, I'll forget it.
That's awesome.
I'm just coping.
All right. So what are some of your best plays here in the conference tournaments? What are you riding right now?
I'm fade material right now. I gotta recalibrate, but I have Ohio State tonight. But I'm stay away from me. I'm radioactive because you knew it was going to happen. I was going to crash out. I'm crashing out right now.
All right. What do you make of the Aaron Rodgers debate that we've had on the radio station for the last 2 days? There's one of us, I won't tell you who, one of us does not want Aaron Rodgers in the division on the Vikings. The other one wants Aaron Rodgers in the division. Which side are you on, and who do you think said which?
I think, Silvy, you said you don't want him. Is that right?
That is incorrect.
That's incorrect.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I did a combo of the two of your brains. I was like, this would be so funny if he did the Favre. And then I paused and said to myself, wait a second. I can't handle him beating the Bears twice a year again as like a 45-year-old who can like barely run around. So I do not want him in the division.
So you're one of these scaredy cats too of him.
See that isn't that guy?
Why wouldn't you be scared? What are you talking about?
Because if you watched him play in the last 2 years, I mean, coming off the Achilles and then last year,
it doesn't. It doesn't matter when he plays the Bears. You know that. It does not matter when he plays the Bears.
It mattered to Favre late in his career. We ended Favre's career.
Corey Wooten.
This
Wooten
could happen again.
It's still. I just don't want. I don't want it. I don't want it. It's over. I don't want it. I just want him. He's been out of our lives.
In his worst moments, he threw for what, 3,700 yards and 28 touchdown passes last year.
You could look at the stats. You could watch the games.
We always look at stats. And we always reference stats when they support our point, and we always say, my eyes are more important than the stats when it doesn't support what you're doing.
Right.
So I would just say this. Sylvie asked a poll question. Do you want to see Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh, in Minnesota, or don't care? And I voted don't care. If you make me choose, that was your web poll question.
Right. I didn't know that you chose don't care, though.
Could care less. Okay. But if you make me choose between Pittsburgh and Minnesota, Kevin O'Connell's a hell of a coach.
Right.
Hawkinson's a good tight end. Justin Jefferson's a good receiver. Addison's a good receiver. They've rebuilt the interior of their offensive line. Oh, by the way, they rebuilt the interior of their defensive line. The Vikings have had themselves a really good offseason as well to this point. I don't want to take the chance, if I have the choice, that Aaron Rodgers may find a way to have a season that may kick you in the nuts as a Bears fan.
We're in lockstep. And also, Sylvie, just think about it this way. Would you not rather have the Vikings have to go through the struggles of a rookie quarterback next year than the possibility of Aaron Rodgers rekindling some magic for a year? Like, just in a pure common sense, trying to win the division, I would rather the Vikings, and I think J.J. McCarthy is going to be good, but I'd rather them have to go through the ups and downs of a rookie quarterback than have Aaron Rodgers somehow be like, I'm good again.
I think that the ceiling is higher on J.J. McCarthy because of what
Not
Waddle
next
mentioned.
year. Not next year.
If Sam Darnold can reinvent his career there, I think J.J. McCarthy could come out and after sitting for a year and he could play well under J.J. McCarthy with those skill guys.
Don't you think it's more likely that a rookie struggles versus a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback finds his way for a year?
I'm not worried about that.
You can do the reverse, Sylvie. If Sam Darnold was great in the Vikings system, what is Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers is still better than Sam Darnold.
The situation's fluid with the Rodgers.
It's fluid. This is the
whole stats argument. Look at these stats. This supports my argument.
Right.
Wait a second.
Right.
Don't look at the stats. Just use your eyes.
It's also like what we've been there, done that. It's move on. I'm in the don't care, but if you made me choose,
me too.
It would be
do you care about watching Justin Fields as a Jet?
Don't care.
One of my producers is a huge diehard Jets fan, and I basically sat him down and I was like, look, Sundays will be more fun. Like, they're going to be more fun, but you need to have your expectations in the right place. And he actually was like, yeah, I think the ceiling's probably, 8 or 9 wins. I was like, that's perfect. You're fine. Because it is, you guys agree, like, when Justin Fields is playing quarterback, there is a fun factor to it.
Sure.
That, like, when he rips off runs and he scrambles around. But in terms of winning football, I don't think he should be expecting much.
He makes as many intoxicating plays as anybody. It's just not consistent enough. So he raises your expectation levels because you watch him do things that only him and probably Lamar and maybe Josh Allen can do. And then the next thing you know, he airmails in a wide-open receiver into the third row of the stand.
He's the amateur golfer where every couple of shots keeps you coming back for more.
No question.
Yes, exactly. So he's going to have more fun. But, I don't really care. I mean, I like Justin as a guy, so I hope he has success. And I'm happy he got a contract. But, no, it's not on the top of the list of things I care about.
I don't find anybody that didn't cheer against Justin when he was in Pittsburgh and won't cheer against him when he's with the Jets. I don't know when people liked him. He worked hard. He was a good teammate. It just, you had an opportunity to upgrade the position, and they took it. Period and end of story.
Agreed.
Do you want to ask him about the airplane debate we had on Monday with Air India?
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear this story?
No.
About the bathrooms?
No.
Okay, so do you want to paint the picture or you want me to?
You can go ahead and tell him.
So a plane took off on Air India from Chicago on the way to Delhi. And as you know, it's a mega flight. So they were 5 hours into the flight, and 11 of the 12 bathrooms went down. The toilets were not working. There is one functional toilet on board. Do you elect to go 5 hours back to Chicago, or do you elect to plow through it and go 10 hours to Delhi and make your destination? So it's 5 hours longer to make it to your destination. Which adventure are you choosing?
I'm choosing C. What does it mean that a bathroom is down? A hole is a hole.
11.
I'll just use the
11
broken.
to 12.
I'll use. There's no broken bathroom when it was the hole covered up. If there's a hole there, I'm going to use it.
What if it won't flush?
Who cares?
Oh, so you're just going to stack
just
poop
say,
on
hey,
poop?
Look, number one in this bathroom. Everyone else hold your poops.
Yeah,
That's
no.
what I said. And Waddle, I use it as a porta potty. You could use the sinks for guys in the bathrooms that are down, and the emergency toilet for number twos is the one that's open. Let's motor through this.
What does your wife say when you tell her she's got to go into this bathroom and hike up her gear and pee in the sink?
No, well, I mean, I don't know.
No, I say, hey, do you want to go back 5 hours?
Yes.
No, you don't. No one on the flight wants to go back 5 hours. You just say, hey, listen, you go over the intercom. You're like, hey, look, it's RV rules. Have you ever been in an RV
rules.
on a road trip?
Not with 300. Not with 300 people. Not with 300 people.
Hey, listen, I would just also say, I'd say, hey, listen, anyone got a big bottle? Use it. It doesn't matter.
Yes,
you can pee in your seat.
Oh, I don't know about you could go into one of those bathrooms
No,
and use
you
the
can pee in your
bottle.
seat. No, you can pee in your seat.
You
can do everything.
You're really
So,
good.
so you're traveling with your mother or your mother-in-law, and you just look at her and you go, Barb, here's a bottle. Pee in it.
Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely.
That's what you want to
Those
see?
wide mouth
You want to
bottles?
subject
I'm taking away all liquids for the remainder of the
You want to
flight.
subject. Well, now everybody's going to be dehydrated and going to need an IV bag. So you're going to ask your mom to either pee in the sink or pee into a bottle.
Yeah, because I'm not going back 5 hours.
You guys, what a caveman you are.
Well,
that you're going to ask your
you gotta
mother
be
to
a
do
grinder.
that.
You got to be a grinder.
You can't go on a flight and be like, hey, we got to go back 5 hours.
You've got to think of others. You're being selfish. You're thinking of yourself. You're not thinking of your kids or your wife or your mother or your mother-in-law.
Well, you got to make it.
No, because deep down, every single person agrees with me. They might be like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to pee in the sink. No. Deep down, everyone would be given that option and be like, no, keep powering through.
Nobody wants to go back.
How about your grandmother that had to be helped onto the plane using a wheelchair? Well, not
She's
everyone.
been dead for years. My grandmother's been dead for years. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm not saying you personally.
Maybe they got a
about
colostomy bag. I don't know.
How are you going to empty that?
Did they go back? What did they do?
You're going to put, the colostomy bag also takes waste, so you're going to put the poop in the sink? Is that what you're saying?
What did they do, though?
No.
Did they go back?
No, they went back.
They went back to O'Hare.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would sue for everything. That's crazy.
My question is why do you have to go 5 hours all the way back to Chicago? But then somebody showed us the flight map. I think you go north, over the North Pole, and then don't make me, try to do any geography here. But I think that's why they did it. I figured.
Wait, you're just finding out that when you go to Asia,
yes.
you fly over the top of the Earth because that's the faster way.
That is correct.
You thought it was just a straight line,
Well, when the only really long trip I've taken was to Japan, and we connected through
the whole time
through San Francisco, and we stopped in San Francisco and then went from there. That's the only
you got to
time.
go over the top of the Earth.
I don't recall that. I don't think they told us that.
All right. Anything else on your mind before we let you go today?
No, I just got to find winners. I'm going to be. It's conference championship week. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite weeks of the year. It's just wall to wall action. Just going to be watching hoops. Just living and dying.
It's been fantastic. That's for sure. All right, Big Cat. Good luck. Start a new streak.
All right,
Again.
All right. See you guys.